Today we're going to be doing a review on this Kalamazoo. It's a 1x42 belt sander. It's the 1S MVP, so it is variable position, which is super nice. There's a couple bolts that you loosen up down here at the bottom, and then this can be rotated. There's a 4-inch drive wheel down here. You can use part of that. There's not a lot of room down there, but you can work off of that if you need to for shaping. It comes with this work table, which is adjustable, and it comes with the knife or the platen here. They do sell an upgradable platen, which I don't have that yet, so I got the original platen with it. Very mobile. It's real easy to move around. Here's the front side of it. It's got this OSHA safety guard up here that you can open and close, so you close that when you're running it. But so far I'm loving this sharpener. It's one of my favorite sharpeners. It was sent from Kalamazoo. It's a slower speed grinder, which they call it a sander, and so it's you can sharpen and stuff with it without burning up your tools. And so I do have a temperature tester here. We'll do a temperature test on it here in a little bit. But so far, really liking it. It's got a sealed motor. Your alignment is right in here. We're going to tighten that knob right there, and that'll hold it in position so our belt stays true and the tracking is good. I do have a few magnets that I stuck on here. When I'm sharpening, it helps to collect all the metal dust. I'm loving this sharpener. It's the Kalamazoo 1x42 1S MVP, which is for variable position. It's a 1/3 horsepower. This is perfect for sharpening, blending. You can do metal on this. You could do wood. You could do plastic or PVC. When you change the belt, make sure you unplug it. That way you don't get your fingers hung up in there in case you accidentally bump the switch. You don't want to have your fingers sucked in here because there is metal parts there. That would hurt. Belt speed is 1800 SFPM. The shipping weight of this thing was 35 pounds. So it's a really light grinder. Let me turn it again so you guys can see it. Really loving it. Really fast at sharpening. But I picked up one of these Morakniv, the knife blanks. I also picked up a couple of these wood blocks, which you can make knife handles out of it. The ones that were in this package were zebra wood, and so I used a chisel and I carved out the middle, and then I got some epoxy. Once I chipped out the middle of this, then I put a Morakniv. This is a carbon blade, but I stuck it inside of there, mixed up some epoxy, and sandwiched these two together. I got a knife vise over here, and so I sandwiched them together yesterday, and then this morning when I woke up, it was just a block of wood. It looked like that. It looked like those sandwiched together. And then so I took my another Morakniv that I have, and I started carving all this out. And so I carved out for the bottom here, and then I carved out for the handle, or all this for the handle. So it fits my hand really good. One thing I would do different would be to tape up the blade so I don't get epoxy on it, because now I got to clean up the blade a little bit. But I went out there and tried to shave some wood with it. I shaved some bark off a branch. This thing came in really handy, even though I have been using it for sharpening. It's really came in handy for this knife handle too. And so this is my first knife handle doing it, and I got to use this Kalamazoo 1x42, and so I am loving it, being able to do stuff like that with it. And so it's got a custom handle, zebra wood, but I made that spot for my thumb to go right there, and then my fingers all fit pretty good in all these other grooves. I was very happy that I had this tool here, which saved a lot of hand sanding. Even though I finished it with sandpaper, yeah, it really came in handy and helped me make that knife handle. So I want to thank Kalamazoo for sending this. So far we're loving it. If you look at the back side right here, this knob, that's how you adjust the straightness of your belt, your tracking. So I do have some magnets on here to help remove some of the metal that's flying around. So that's been very helpful. We're right down here to try to keep them away from the motor. I have them on this side in the bottom, and then I have one there, and then I have a bunch down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them down in the bottom area. Let me show you how to do the variable position. So you'll get a crescent wrench, and you have right here, okay, we're going to want to loosen that up. And then on this side, the same thing. It's probably best to unplug it when you do this, but this shows you how that it's got its variable position. I'm going to move this magnet. So you could have it vertical or horizontal. That's about as far as it goes right there, which is a little bit past being flat. If you want to keep it here, you just put your wrench back in there, tighten it up wherever you want to keep it. The work table that you see here is adjustable. You can rotate it up or down. There's a couple bolts right there, and that's where the platen is attached. And as I got this Klein, it's a angle gauge, and so I use it with multiple different sharpening systems to check when I'm trying to check angle. A lot of times I just use a Sharpie and match that way. Being that it's a variable position, I'll rotate it back and get the angle I need, and as long as I'm holding my knife straight up and down with what I'm gonna set this to, I'll be able to sharpen each side of my knife at that angle. So I'll just rotate this over, let's say 20 degrees if I'm going for a 40-degree angle. And so first off, I want to zero this down here. You see it says 89.7, so I'm going to push the button to zero it. Okay, so now we're zeroed. So now I'm going to bring our angle gauge up here, put it on the Kalamazoo. It's showing we're a little bit out of skew for being plumb, which is fine. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it back until I get it to 20 degrees. I want 20 degrees on each side, and that'll give me a 40-degree sharpening, which should be pretty good for most knives. So we're at 12.9. Keep going. $19.9. So we're at 20 degrees. Now I'm going to tighten back down. As long as I hold it straight up and down, make a pass across there, flip it around, hold it straight up and down, make a pass across that side, and then do the same thing. We're going to repeat. And then when you get out by the tip, it's a little bit different than on the Tormek. You don't want to necessarily roll it so much, but you still got to pull it out just a little bit, and you'll see the burr start to kind of roll back and forth. So this is a great sharpener. It doesn't overheat the blade as long as you don't hold it on there for too long. So we're at 20 degrees. I'm gonna turn the sharpener the grinder, sander, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we're done with this. We're going to turn it off. We're set. I'm going to use one finger on it to keep it straight. Right now we're sharpening above the flatten. Watch your fingers. Keep your knife straight up and down and go fast. Not super fast, but just make some nice quick passes across here, and that's all you got to do. A few passes and then you need to deburr. So far we're loving it. One of the best sharpeners that I've ran across. I wished I would have got one of these a long time ago, because it's like really one of the best. I used one of my Morakniv knives to carve the shape of this handle, and then I cleaned it up on the 1x42 belt sander by Kalamazoo, and it worked great. I was able to use the slack part of the belt up here to get in all these little grooves of where I had when I was cutting it with my knife, it was leaving little chip marks in areas, and so I was able to get in there. And as long as you're rotating it at the right speed and you just watch what you're doing, you're able to shape this and clean it up. So like I said, I did use a Morakniv knife to cut most of it, but I did some of the rounding and everything with this belt sander. Take it and do stuff like that, and if you need to clean anything up, turn it on its side, so you can round the wood right here where your handle is. Flatten it out. Love that it's a multi-position belt sander, so it can be operated vertical or horizontal, which is super nice if you want to lay it down. That had a regular grind on it, and I turned it into a Scandi grind the other day. I'm not 100% done with it, but you can see what I've been doing with it. So I did it on here. This all it had was a regular edge on it, and I did this to it, so it turned out really well. So this thing works great for doing, if you got blades that are shaped like this, it works great for that, because you can get in there and get all the angles you need to get to. But yeah, this knife right here, for getting in there to get all those different contours. If you have stuff like this that has different contours to it. So this is an SE Azula 2. But what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen this. We're set up at the 20 degrees. We used our Klein angle cube to check it. And so what I want to do is I want to clean this edge up. PPE back on. As you work across there, just keep a consistent edge. Starting to refine the edge, it's looking better. Make a few more passes. You can watch the burr as you're going along there. Nice and steady. What I'm going to do is take a shot on here and see what our temperature is. 68 degrees, 69, 69. Okay, back here where the fan is, the motor's running at 71 degrees. Motor's 92, 95. 84, 78, so 82, 88, 90, take a couple passes and we'll check it again. 74, 73. So it's not heating the blade up at all what we're doing to it. What do I think about this sharpener? I think this is one of the best sharpeners that are on the market today. It's a Kalamazoo 1x42. It's their belt sander. I think it works amazing. You can see how quick. I just made a few passes on the belt sander with this machete. It was pretty beat up. And we can see how quick that edge is coming together. Let's get my mask on. You don't want to breathe in the particles off the belt or off your blade. Be careful when reaching across here to turn the switch on if you are going to run it in this position. The belt is turning that way, so I'm doing edge trailing strokes. I'm not doing edge leading. I'm not going into the edge. So let's turn it on. Our tracking is still good. If we needed to adjust it, we would have to loosen this knob and turn this apparatus here, but our tracking is good right now. So simple as that. Ready for the strop. So all it takes is a few passes. I'm going to get some more belts for it so that I'm able to run through the progression of belts. But once you get a burr on both sides, then it's ready to be stropped and ready to be used. So that's one of the fastest sharpeners you'll see. If you make a pass on this side, your last pass, your burr will end up on the opposite side. We do have some strops here that we could strop it, but I do want to get a leather belt for this system. They make a leather belt for the 1x42, and they also make some other belts that are finer than the one that comes on it. So I'm just using the one that comes on it. So far it's working really good. It's the aluminum oxide. That's one good thing about all this Kalamazoo stuff, is it all comes out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. So we got to buy our knife sharpening products from our companies that are from the USA. If you're in the market for a knife sharpener and you're thinking and trying to figure out what to get, this is one of the things that I would definitely recommend getting. The Kalamazoo 1x42. It's an amazing machine. I'm loving it. It is working great. So I'm super happy with it. We tested, we did some knives, we took temperature tests, so you know it's not going to overheat your knives. Let's do a couple on this knife right here, this Essie knife, and we'll see what the temperature is on it, being that it's a smaller knife. So we take the temperature, 66. So it's not heating the blade up at all. We just made 4 passes, 2 on each side, and we're still getting a 69 degrees. I'm super happy with it. Again, it's got the OSHA approved cover up here. I want to keep that closed. It's got the pulley on top. It's got a 4-inch drive wheel, a 1/3 horsepower motor. Very simple to adjust. It's just got 2 nuts. There's one there and there's one here. And so it's tack welded on the inside right there. Get a hold of the guys over at Kalamazoo. Order you one of these. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for tuning in for another review. Super happy with this thing. Can't go wrong with it. Make sure you guys order one. Kalamazoo's got them on their website. There's probably other places you can get it too, but I would go directly through them. Really good guys to deal with. If you want to make knives like that, wood handles, carving and stuff like that with a light duty sander, this is probably the one you want. The 1x42 variable position, put out by Kalamazoo. So get you a Kalamazoo 1x42 and you'll be happy you did. Thank you everybody for watching. Another review on the Kalamazoo 1x42.